After 65, don't go to these 4 people's homes. Avoid these 4 types of people, it ruins you. Close your eyes for a moment. You're over 60, standing in your too quiet kitchen, the hum of the fridge your only company. The clock ticks past noon, and you're tugging on a worn jacket, stepping out to visit anyone to drown out the silence that's settled since your kids stopped calling, since your grandkids' voices faded from grandpa, grandma, to a faint echo on a birthday card, if that. You're chasing a flicker of connection, a warm word to soothe that raw, aching loneliness gnawing at your chest, the kind that stings sharper with every "too busy" mom text, every unreturned call from your son. But here's the heartbreak: you shuffle back home hours later, legs heavy, soul heavier, feeling like you've poured your last drop of hope into a dry well. Ever felt that? That exhaustion that's more than tired bones, that's your heart whispering, "I can't keep doing this." If it's hit you, you're not alone, and I see you right there, in that quiet, aching space. Aging's a thief, isn't it? It steals the bustle of family dinners, the chaos of little feet, leaving you with echoes and a longing for someone to care. You've given everything: years of love, late nights, sacrifices, and now, in these golden years, you deserve more than silence. You deserve peace, a spark, a hand to hold when the world forgets. But some visits don't fill that void, they widen it, draining your energy, cracking your calm, and leaving you more isolated than ever. We keep going out of habit, guilt, or a desperate need to feel needed, not seeing how they chip away at us until we're shadows of who we were. What if I told you there's a way through? A way to spot these soul suckers, to shield your tender heart, and to find the ones who truly see you, not just the parent they've left behind, but you, now, still breathing, still fighting. In this raw, tear-streaked journey, we're unmasking 4 types of people whose homes you should dodge after 65, no matter how lonely you feel, no matter how much you crave a voice to break the quiet. Stay with me to the end, because this isn't just about dodging pain, it's about understanding your worth, sharing your struggle, and finding empathy to lift you up. You'll walk away with the courage to set boundaries, protect your light, and spend your days with people who make you feel whole again. Ready to reclaim your heart? Let's step into the dark and find the light together. The silent thief, when loneliness meets a cold world. Aging isn't just wrinkles or slower steps, it's a quiet betrayal. The house that once buzzed with "Mom, can I?" or "Dad, look," now sits mute, walls staring back like they've forgotten you too. You've poured your life into raising them, bandaging knees, wiping tears, cheering through every milestone, only to wake up one day to a phone that doesn't ring, a mailbox empty of anything but bills. Your daughter's "I'll call soon" turns into weeks of silence. Your son's "busy, Dad" cuts deeper than he knows. Your grandkids' once tiny hands tugging your shirt don't even know your face anymore. Loneliness isn't just being alone, it's the sting of being left behind by the ones you'd give your last breath for, the ones you thought would always need you. And in that hollow, every knock you answer, every visit you make, feels like a lifeline, a chance to feel seen, to matter again. But here's the knife twist: not every door you cross holds that lifeline. Some slam shut on your hope, leaving you emptier, more unseen, more unloved than when you arrived. Ever left a visit feeling like your heart's been wrung out, angry, drained, like the silence at home was kinder than their noise? That's not just a rough day. That's a thief stealing your spirit, wearing the face of someone you trusted. I get it, I've been there too, staring at my own silent walls, wondering why I keep giving when no one gives back. Through stories torn from real lives, people like you, like me, like the widow down the street, we're exposing 4 energy vampires who turn your search for connection into a slow bleed: the chronic complainer, the manipulative user, the drama magnet, the negative nostalgic. They're not strangers, they're the neighbor who waves, the friend who calls, the cousin who texts, until you see the truth behind their masks. Let's peel it back together. I'm here with you, feeling every pang, sharing every tear. 1. The chronic complainer, the whine that breaks your heart. Ever walked into a house and felt the warmth drain like a cold wind snuffed out your candle? Meet Carol, 68, a widow I knew from bingo nights. She'd open her creaky door, eyes sunken, a shaky, come in, trembling on her lips like she'd been waiting all day for someone, anyone, to break her solitude. You'd step inside, heart soft, hoping to share a moment, maybe ease that loneliness you both know too well since your kids stopped coming by. But then it hits, a sigh, long and jagged, slicing the air. "My back's killing me, doctors don't listen," she'd start, voice cracking. "My daughter hasn't called in months, she's too good for me now. The roof leaks, the bills pile up, nobody cares." You sit, coffee cooling, and murmur, "I'm here, Carol, I care." But she doesn't hear, she's lost in her flood. The neighbors are loud, the TV's all bad news, why's life so cruel to me? Her tears spill, and yours well up too, not for her pain, but for the weight she's piling on your already fragile soul. Carol's the chronic complainer, and you've got one in your life, I know you do. That friend who's never okay, who turns every sunrise into a storm. You go in with a flicker of hope, maybe your grandson's rare, "Hi, Nana," text today, and they douse it, "My grandkids don't even know me, world's gone rotten." You leave not lifted, but crushed, head throbbing, chest aching, like you've carried their despair home to join your own. I've felt it too, that heaviness when their gloom seeps in, making my own quiet house feel darker, my own kids' silence sharper. It's not just whining, it's a wound they reopen in you, every visit a reminder of how alone you already feel. Take Ed, 71, a retired mechanic I knew, big hands, bigger heart. He'd visit his buddy Frank every Thursday, desperate for a voice. His son's calls had dwindled to a curt, "Happy Father's Day," once a year, his grandkids strangers behind a screen. Frank's porch was Ed's refuge until it turned sour. "My knees are shot, Doc's a thief," Frank groaned, eyes dull. "My boy doesn't care, hasn't seen me since Christmas." Ed'd try, voice soft, "Mine called last month, I get it, it hurts." Frank snap, "You're lucky mine forgot my birthday. Life's garbage now." One night, Ed dragged home, sank into his chair, and wept alone, raw, voice breaking as he told me, "I went in missing my boy, came out feeling like he hates me too. Frank's misery's killing me, I can't take it anymore." Here's the hook that'll clutch your heart, they don't want your hope, they want your hurt. Share a light. They'll dim it. Offer a hand. They'll slap it away. I've been there, nodding through their sighs, feeling my own loneliness grow claws. After 65, with your kids gone, your grandkids ghosts, you're fragile, don't let their endless whines shatter you more. Next time you leave a house feeling like a sponge soaked in their tears, ask, "Is this healing me or breaking me?" Carol and Frank don't mean to wound, but they do, and I'm here, holding your hand, saying, you're enough without their weight. 2. The manipulative user, the guilt that guts your soul. Now, feel this, your phone buzzes. Linda, 67, your old coworker. "Hey, I miss you, come over for tea." Her voice quivers, and your heart leaps. Someone sees you, wants you, after weeks of silence from your daughter, her last, "Love you, Mom," a faded memory. You shuffle over, picturing a chat to ease that ache. The grandkids haven't hugged you in a year, their faces just blurry FaceTime shadows. But Linda's smile twists fast, "Oh, thank God you're here, my stove's out. You're so good at fixing things, can you help?" You roll up your sleeves, sweat dripping, while she hovers, chattering about her woes. Next time, it's, "Drive me to the doctor, I'm so alone." Then, "Pick up my mail, no one else will." You stumble home, back screaming, soul bruised, realizing she never asked, "How are you?" not once. Linda's the manipulative user, and she's in your story too. I've felt her pull. They don't call to share, they call to take. That neighbor who only knocks when his sink clogs. The cousin who begs for a quick favor, but forgets your name otherwise. They smell your loneliness, that desperate need to feel useful since your kids left you behind, and they pounce. "You're my angel," they croon, piling on guilt, "I'd be lost without you." You give hours, strength, tears, hoping it'll earn you a place, a reason to be missed. But when you leave, you're not loved, you're used, a rag wrung dry, more alone than ever. Betty, 70, lived it, her eyes still tear up when she tells me. Her niece Tammy'd call every Sunday, "Aunt Betty, I'm so lonely, come over." Betty'd go, heart pounding her son hadn't visited since last Easter, his "I'll stop by" a broken promise. Tammy was her tether until the truth cut deep. "Can you babysit? I'm swamped. Lend me $30 just till Friday." Betty'd nod, whispering to herself, "She needs me, that I'm not forgotten." Then one stormy night, Betty's heater died, and she dialed Tammy, voice trembling, "Can you bring a blanket? I'm freezing." Tammy laughed, cold, "Oh, I'm too busy, call someone else." Betty sat there, shivering, tears freezing on her cheeks, and told me, "I gave her everything, my time, my love. She left me in the dark, just like my boy. I'm nothing to her, just a fool. Here's the twist that'll pierce you, say no, and they'll twist the blade. After all I've been through, they'll sob, or freeze you out like you've betrayed them." I felt that sting, guilt clawing at me when I dared refuse. After 65, with your kids distant, your grandkids gone, your tender, don't let these users get you too. I'm here, sharing your pain, saying, you're not their servant, you're enough. Next visit that feels like a chore, ask, am I wanted or used? Your heart's too precious for their games, let's hold it together. 3. The drama magnet, the storm that shatters your peace. Ever stepped into a house and felt the walls close in like a hurricane hit before you arrived? Meet Ray, 66, my old golf buddy. He'd fling open his door, voice booming, "Get in here, you old coot." You'd step inside, craving that rough warmth, something to drown out the silence since your grandkids swapped, "Grandpa's here, for maybe next month." But Ray's grin's a bait, "You won't believe what my landlord pulled, hiked my rent again. I'm fighting him tooth and nail." You nod, try to sidestep, "How's the dog?" but he's relentless, "And my sister, she's a snake, borrowed cash and ghosted me. Tell me I'm right, back me up." Suddenly, you're not a friend, you're a soldier in his war, dodging bullets in a battle you didn't enlist for. Raise the drama magnet, and you've got one too. I've walked that tightrope. They don't just stumble into chaos, they ignite it, a spark that flares into a blaze. Every visit's a tempest, a row with the butcher, a grudge with their ex, a crisis they swear someone else's fault. You go in, aching for a lifeline, anything to escape your empty house, and come out battered, pulse racing, like you've survived a fight you never wanted. They thrive on the storm, and they'll drag you in, demanding you pick sides, cheer their rage, fill the void they refuse to face themselves. Clara, 69, bore it until she broke. She'd visit Doris every Tuesday, needing a friend. Her daughter hadn't called since spring, her home a crypt of dust. Doris'd start, "My cousin's a liar, stole my recipe and bragged about it. I'm done with her." Clara'd try, soft, "Maybe she didn't mean it, I know how family hurts." Doris'd snap, "You're either with me or her, choose." Next, it's a clash with the mailman, then a tirade at Clara for not caring when she stayed quiet. One night, Clara staggered home, hands shaking, and told me, tears spilling, "I felt like I'd been torn apart, my girl's gone, my house is dead, and Doris is a whirlwind breaking me more. I just wanted a friend, I got a war instead." Here's the hook that'll shake you, drama magnets don't heal, they harm. Disagree? You're the enemy. Stay neutral. You're heartless. I've felt that chaos, leaving with my own loneliness twisted into knots. After 65, with your kids drifting, your grandkids fading, you're fragile, don't let their storms shatter you. I'm here, understanding your need, saying, you deserve calm. Next visit that feels like a battlefield, ask, is this peace or punishment? You've lost enough, let's keep your heart whole. 4. The negative nostalgic, the regret that reopens your scars. Finally, step into this, you're at Tom's kitchen table, 73, your fishing pal. Coffee steams, the room glows, your chance to escape the silence since your son's, later, dad, turned to months of nothing, your grandkids' hugs just a memory on a dusty photo frame. Remember the lake? Tom starts, voice low. You smile, ready for a story those days reeling in fish, sun on your face. But Tom's gaze hardens, should have moved their life to be better. My wife left 'cause I didn't, kids don't call 'cause I failed. You try, we've still got time, Tom, I miss mine too. He cuts deeper, not like before, everything's gone wrong. You're lucky yours even text. The air turns cold, your throat tightens, you're not sharing, you're sinking into his abyss. Tom's the negative nostalgic, and they're a quiet dagger I've bled from their cuts. They don't just recall the past, they choke on it, drowning in regret, pulling you under too. Every visit's a dirge, old losses, broken dreams, a life they swear cheated them. You go in, yearning for a friend, someone to ease the pain of your kid's absence, and come out gutted, replaying your own wounds. Did I push my daughter away? Was I too hard on my son? Their despair digs into you, turning your loneliness into a mirror of their own. Grace, 72, felt it rip her open. She'd visit Lou, her cousin, craving that old card night glow. Her grandkids hadn't run to her in a year, her home a tomb of echoes. Lou'd shuffle the deck, should have taken that job in 80B set now. My girl doesn't care, hasn't called since Easter. Graced reach out, mine texted last month, I know that hurt. Lou'd sigh, your blessed mind's written me off. Life's over now. One night, Grace got home, cards unplayed, and sobbed into her pillow. I felt my own failures like I'd lost them all over again. Lou's regrets became mine, my kids don't want me, and he's burying me with him. Here's the twist that'll tear at you, their sorrow reopens your scars. You're already bruised, unseen, unneeded, and they make it bleed fresh. I've sat there, feeling my own kids' silence grow louder in their gloom. After 65, you've earned light, don't let their darkness swallow it. I'm here, sharing your grief, saying, you're not alone in this. Next visit that drags you into their past, ask, is this lifting me or wounding me? Your heart's still beating, let's keep it alive. The fight back, empathy to heal your loneliness. There they loom, Carol's whines, Linda's guilt, Ray's storms, Tom's regrets. For vampires, feeding on your loneliness, turning visits into knives. You've felt it, the crush when you leave, the ache of being forgotten by your own flesh, the desperate hope for a knock, a call, a sign you're still here. Ed's silent tears, Betty's frozen night, Clara's shaking hands, Grace's broken sobs, they're your story too. You've nodded through their gripes, fixed their lives, dodged their chaos, mourned their past, all while your kids fade, your grandkids vanish, your world shrinks to a whisper. I see you, I feel that sting, that quiet cry when the house goes dark. But here's the truth that'll mend you, you don't owe them your soul, not when it's already torn from being left behind. Think back, when's the last time you left a house feeling crushed, lost, angry, like the silence at home was a mercy? That's your heart pleading, I'm enough. I've been there too, walking away, wondering why I let them take more when my kids already took so much. These vampires don't shout their hunger, they slip in with, come over, I need you, hiding their claws in smiles you've trusted too long. But real connection doesn't wound, it warms. Real friends don't drain, they share. Real talks don't bury, they lift. After 60, with your kids gone, your grandkids strangers, your time's a fragile thread, why let it snap in their cold grip? Here's your fight back, wrapped in understanding, shared pain, empathy to hold you, see their truth, feel your worth, draw your line. Leave heavier than you came. That's the chronic complainer, let their sighs fall, not you. Every visit a favor. That's the manipulative user, say no, you're not their crutch. Chaos swirling. That's the drama magnet, step out, you're not their shield. Regrets choking you. That's the negative nostalgic, choose now, you're not their echo. I'm here, feeling your hurt, saying, you're not their savior, you're yours, and I get how deep that loneliness cuts. Picture this instead, a porch with a pal who says, I've missed you, how's your heart? A table with a neighbor who shares, my kids left too, let's keep each other company. A quiet tea with someone who sees the you beneath the silence, not the mother they forgot, the father they ignored, but you, now, still alive. That's your gold people who make the quiet a song, not a scream. Comment below, who's the vampire you faced? What visit will you skip to save your soul? Hit like, subscribe, ring that bell, we're in this together, sharing every tear, every triumph. After 65, every heartbeat's a gift, spend it with the ones who make it sing, not the ones who let it fade. Break free, I'm with you, and your light's still shining bright.